Good morning, Yankees Nation. This is Ken, and you're here with the ugly truth. I see Stephen B. hopping on board. Welcome. Uh, we don't have really a lot of news to talk about today. Nothing has really changed. Uh, we locked up in a doubleheader yesterday. First game was the Yankees versus the Phillies, and our primary players did well. The second game of the night was versus the Braves, and that one didn't work out so well. Carlos Carrasco had the nod on the bump and was very good as the starter. The lineup didn't hit so well. As a matter of fact, I can't remember the Braves pitcher. He struck out 10 Yankees yesterday. He was pretty phenomenal. Hey, Dev, how's it going? Welcome aboard. Today, the Yankees traveled to Sarasota, Florida to lock up with the Baltimore Orioles. Uh, the Yankees will have Will Warren starting on the bump. Another opportunity for him to showcase his stuff. This spring training, he's 3-0 with a 2.57 ERA and I think like 16 strikeouts. He's been very impressive throughout the spring training. Across the board, it seems that a lot of the predictive analytics and the fans are not very confident about the 2025 Yankees. I believe it's a 53% chance across the board that the Yankees make the postseason. I think that the Yankees are being seriously underestimated. Granted, the team has had some hiccups early with the injury bug. It's not something that hasn't happened before. See FJ hopping on. Welcome. It's not something that hasn't happened before, and it's definitely happened to other teams. Last year, the 2024 Dodgers basically went without Mookie Betts for 2 months because of injury. You had, by the time the World Series came around, 3/4 of their starting staff was on the IL. They recovered from it. They ended up eventually winning the World Series. The Yankees didn't have Garrett Cole to start last season out, and we had Luis Gil step up to the plate and be the hero that we needed him to be. This year, once again, we're going to be without Cole. Not insurmountable, definitely difficult. We're going to lose Luis Gil for the first few months. Sucks, sure, but good morning, Lou. How are you? Welcome. I have seen some bright spots in spring training. Carlos Carrasco and Marcus Stroman have been fantastic. I think both of their games rely heavily on ground balls and solid defense behind them, and the kids have been playing well. You can definitely see a change in the way we approach defense and we attack the ball. Will Warren has shown that he is much improved from last season, where he had a 10 ERA through his few starts. The problem that I think that he had is he had little to no prep time when it came to being informed that he was going to be the starting pitcher. He was called up, And all of a sudden, he's in the major leagues again. He did well in some games. He got hammered in others. But I think he's developed over the offseason. His spring training performances have shown consistency. He is not walking anywhere near, hey, real Bill, anywhere near the numbers that he was last year. And he actually seems like he has a swing and miss, a way to strike batters out, swing and miss methodology. We have Cam Schlittler, who has shown moments of brightness, and he could be that fill-in pitcher that we need coming off the coming out of the farm system for spot starts and whatnot. And the two facts of life that we're going to have is JT Brubaker will return this season. He had broken ribs off of the first start, but he will be available and will provide depth for us. And obviously, Luis Gil is going to return too. It's sort of going to be like the 2019 series or season where we had a lot of injuries, but the Yankees applied the next man up philosophy, and they were freaking animals. They did not let injuries negatively affect the team, and I see that this year. I am very optimistic about our 2025 Yankees. As a matter of fact, I think that we will head back to the World Series. I think that we will take the AL East, and without a doubt, we will not give up. I had some opening day roster predictions for the team this last live stream that I ran, and I had Yorbit Vivas being my third baseman for this season. Well, he was reassigned to the minor league camp last night. Does that mean that he won't return and be with the team sometime this season? No, it doesn't. I think that his performance during spring training was exceptional, showed fantastic glove, the ability to hit the ball, and definitely speed. So I think the future for Vivas is bright. May not be on the opening roster, but I think he'll be up with the big team sometime this year. Let's see. As you see, I just dropped the link. This is an open panel show, so hop on up and don't be camera shy. Say what you got to say. I appreciate the support. But the club, the concerns that I have are becoming less and less. Jason Dominguez's bat seems to have woken. His defensive play seems to be improving. And the more he plays, the more confidence he seems to be displaying playing in the outfield. Cody Bellinger sitting next to him, I can definitely see he feels he has a backup player to support him. Responding to Bill P., I agree. The key to success this season will be putting runs on the board. I think that pitching will surprise the critics. Completely agree, wholeheartedly. For me, I think that the pitching staff will gain confidence with the defense behind them. knowing that there'll be fewer opportunities for them to have to play through 4 or 5 outs in an inning. Uh, a lot of people said that Cashman fell short in building this roster, mainly with regard to third base. I think that the way that the roster is actually constructed, I don't think that third base is an issue. So long as we've got people who can man the position that are solid defensively. Oswaldo Cabrera has done a good job. The glove work of Oswald Peraza has been fantastic. His bat has fallen off, and he hasn't had a good spring training with the at the plate. But if you look at his defensive numbers, he is definitely a plus ball player. Uh, has he done enough to make the Yankees opening day roster? I don't know. I want to give him every opportunity to succeed at the major league levels, but if he doesn't step up to the plate and get the job done there, his opportunities are not going to be there in any organization. Uh, as y'all know, Peraza does not have any opt-outs left or options left. So if he doesn't make the opening day roster, he is going to be DFA'd or traded. And for a guy who was a highly touted prospect for the Yankees, that will be sad. Question would be, did the Yankees not properly utilize him, give him the opportunities after Anthony Volpe beat him out for the shortstop position? I don't know. I don't know what has caused the organization to lose faith in the best defensive glove that we have, but it seems that we're there. And would anticipate that he probably doesn't make the roster and is not in the Yankee organization anymore. Another player who doesn't have any options but has performed very well in spring training is Yandris Gomez out of our bullpen. I don't believe he's given up an earned run this spring. He has looked very, very impressive, and I definitely think that he is going to be on the opening day roster for us. The team has been averaging, I sat back and said, about 4.5 runs a game. Can the Yankees actually win scoring 4.5 runs a game? Hey, Sean, welcome. I definitely believe that it is a possibility, without a doubt, that the Yankees can win scoring 4.5 runs a game. I think that we will probably score more than that. I've been very encouraged with this year's Yankees situational hitting, even from all levels, whether it be ball players that were at the double A, triple A, even high A. They seem to be able to make contact even when they're making outs. They're productive outs where they're advancing runners, and that's how you score. Yankees have also stolen a lot more bases than they have in the past. So it looks that they're looking to take advantage of the speed game that we have, or the speed potential, taking the extra base, stealing bases, double steals, even seeing people this spring training laying down bunts, which is never been a thing that you've seen in the Yankees over the last 10 years at least. Uh, Brian Cashman put out yesterday, maybe the day before, that the Yankees were going to be active looking for players that are that can help the team that are DFA'd from other organizations because they have no options either. Uh, I sat through and I went through the list last night of all no option players. Started going through the list for potential potential folks that could help the Yankees. I believe that the team is looking for a right-handed bat since we are very left-handed centric this year. Uh, the player would probably have to have some type of a skill set that indicates they could play corner outfield position and or the corner infield position. So when you start breaking that down, there aren't a lot of choices out there. Uh, with regard to rotational help, I mean, you've got several starters who are not signed yet, uh, uh, but they haven't. Hey, Graham, how's it going? Welcome aboard. They haven't had a spring training. So any of those pitchers that you may sign that are free agents are going to have 3-4 weeks, possibly down in the minor leagues, getting stretched out, working their pitches, and looking at Lance Lynn and some of the others. You're looking at a pitcher who is going to probably command a 6 ERA. Well, that's nothing that I think that we would even remotely be interested in as picking up a pitcher like that. I think if we're looking for starting rotation help, I don't think that it's out there unless we decide that we want to gut our farm system and go after rental type players. Some of the ones that have been mentioned, Dylan Cease, although the Padres have indicated that he's not going anywhere. Uh, some of the rumors have uh, been calling about Jordan Montgomery returning to the team, or even a possible trade with the Diamondbacks for Zach Gallen, who is on the last year of his deal. Uh, I think that Gallen will probably uh, not be part of the Diamondbacks' future, especially after the signing of Corbin Burns there. But I don't see them uh, moving him at this juncture. If the Diamondbacks are going to move him, and we have a chance, it's probably going to be near the trade deadline. And whatever it's going to be a 3 month rental, and it's probably not going to be cheap as far as a trade package. So that out there, I mean, pitching has been at a premium over the last 2 seasons, and it's very, very expensive. Uh, Another one that may be moved, I think, closer to the deadline is Luis Castillo of the Mariners. Uh, they've had some injuries in their rotation, and I think they're not looking to move him, although their Mariners aren't happy with his salary. So there are options out there, but I don't think they'll present themselves uh, until near the trade deadline. The the other thing that I look at with regard to the Yankees over the last few seasons, they have made acquisitions of players just before the season began. Uh, Last year, it was John Birdie from the Marlins. The year before that, it was Jose Trevino, I believe, from the Rangers. Uh, so they do make moves. Uh, Trevino did well as a Yankee. While Birdie was on the field, he was effective and did well with the Yankees. Uh, who's that mystery trade person this season? I don't know. Uh, does he exist? Myself personally, I am more than uh, willing to go in the season with the team that we have. Do I think that we need to add anybody right now? I don't. Uh, Once again, I've dropped the link to come up and join me. Anyone who wants to, feel free. Uh, I appreciate the support. Uh, all right, Graham, we'll address your statement. Graham Highlander, the one arm that would move now is Alcantara, but as he will cost as the Marlins know we are in need. Welcome, Marshall. Thanks for coming on. Well, supporting. I understand that you're at work and listening, and I appreciate you listening anyhow. Graham, the Marlins may be willing to move Alcantara, uh, and you're right, he is going to cost a lot. But why would we trade for a pitcher who is coming off of Tommy John surgery, who hasn't shown us what he can do as of post surgery? He's pitched against minor leaguers. He has ramped his fastball up to the 99 mile per hour level, elite speed. Uh, is he going to hold up? I don't know, and I don't think that I would sell the farm to bring him on. I believe if the Marlins are going to move him, it's probably going to be close to the trade deadline too. Uh, our team uh, is facing adversity, and I think okay. We're facing adversity, and I think we've responded well to it. I think this year we're going to have a lot of players who are going to come out of the farm to support the big league team. Uh, my gut feeling is we have probably hit the peak of our injury bugs, and that we won't be riddled throughout the season with the long term injuries that we have been in spring training. There's also still hope that John Carlos Stanton will come back. Uh, we haven't had a lot of reports, which uh, is disturbing for Yankee fans. Hell, it's disturbing for me, uh, somebody who is now creating content. I have I lost my train of thought. Sorry. All right. Yankee front office hasn't been forthright with telling the truth about injuries and follow up. That's why I think there is such a big fever about Stanton. But we have people who uh, have the capability of stepping up and being a DH. The Yankees have had Stanton locked in as our permanent DH for such a long time that it's a question of pulling him out of the lineup, losing his bat to give other players a day off uh, from out in the field. And I think it's a new metric for the Yankees to deal with. Uh, uh, I think this season we have a few bats that will be able to fill in while still maintaining an openness for the slot, so that players like Judge, Wells, uh, uh, I'm thinking this, Bellinger, uh, can take time out of the lineup and still keep their bats in. Uh, we have uh, names are coming to a blank right now. The first base slash catcher, Rice. He's bulked up. He is definitely displaying some power, uh, and could take time at the DH slot while also providing the versatility of being a emergency backup catcher. Uh, JC Escara has had a fantastic bat, and he is set to be our backup catcher. But the ability to include his bat in the lineup would be a plus for us. Uh, Graham is saying that another righty bat who can play third or corner outfield is more important than a DH. I am not disputing that even in the slightest. Uh, all right, and Graham brings up Dom Smith and Everson Pereira. Everson Pereira, I thought, actually had a chance of making the opening day roster, and he has a solid bat. I think his minor league venture is going to be with regard to him getting tuned up to playing the outfield since it's been over a year. Dom Smith, he is an interesting player. Uh, Definitely has a stick, and we have seen him in spring training play in the outfield and play at first base. And frankly, his play at first base hasn't been very freaking good. The first inning of the game yesterday, he had two, potentially three errors at first, simply not being able to uh, dig the ball out and throws to second from the first base position. Uh, I think that his performance at first base has probably hurt him, but has it hurt more than keeping him as a on the squad as a DH? I don't think so. Mm. So, like I said, I am optimistic about the team for this season. I think that we have the assets in place to propel us all the way to the series. Uh, we are weak in the starting pitcher realm as far as depth, but as the season goes on and players develop, uh, we brought, I want to say, 16 non-roster invitees that were pitchers to spring training this year. Uh, and a lot of them will end up in our farm system and will be there for us to call upon. All right, we are a half hour into the live stream, and I am dropping the link for anybody who may wish to come up. Uh, don't be shy. Everybody has an opinion. I want to hear what you've got to say. Uh, Are there any surprise players that y'all have seen uh, that you think may make this year's squad? For me, one of the players has been Pablo Reyes. Uh, he has versatility of positional play, definitely has speed, and a uh, above average stick. I've liked watching him, and I would like to see him, if not on the opening day roster, make his way to the Yankees in the not too distant future. I think he's a solid ball player. His skill sets are probably similar to, if not uh, better than Oswaldo Cabrera. Who do we think is going to be the opening day third baseman for the Yankees this year since Vivas was reassigned to minor league camp? Any thoughts? Is there an actual need to try to make an acquisition? Graham thinks that Oswaldo is going to be our opening day third baseman. So, okay, Graham. With that being said, who do you think takes his position on the bench as a utility type infielder who can take reps at third, second, possible shortstop, and first? Okay, Graham. If Peraza is on the move, who takes a spot? Okay, we've got another one. Sean thinks that I'm assuming that Cabrera is going to be the third baseman and that uh, Peraza is going to be the bench slot. Uh, all right. Graham, I don't think there is one really. Does that mean that you think that it'll be multiple players to fill the position? Uh, all right. We have four bench positions, and we have to be able to back up the entire team. So one of the players is definitely going to be Trent Grisham. Don't think there's a better option for an outfielder out there. Uh, you have to have a backup catcher, which seems like it's going to be JC Escara. So that leaves us two positions on the bench. Uh, and a designated hitter. So there are three open slots for the team. Who do we think are going to fill those three slots? Being that our backup catcher and our backup outfielder are set. Graham, I am completely with you. I had uh, I had Vivas making the opening day roster, and he was reassigned yesterday. So I'm pretty shocked by that one. Uh, FJ thinks that we are going to see a Peraza Cabrera platoon situation. Okay. I can see third base being a platoon situation for us. Uh, just not sure that Praz is going to be that guy. Like I said, he's been exceptional with his glove, but he is hitting in the 190s this spring training. He's been a slow starter, and that's been consistent throughout his career. Uh, will he make it back? I don't know. The uh, the other concern, the Yankees have stated they are looking for a right-handed bat who is a uh, third base slash corner outfielder. Who do you think that may be? All right. All right. Graham has Rice and Smith being the other two people that fill out the bench. Uh, problem that I see there is you have Rice being the third option as a catcher, an emergency backup catcher. Uh, Backup first baseman, sure. Dom Smith, backup first baseman, outfielder, and pass. Does that mean that you don't have a clue who the third slot is going to be, Graham? All right. All right. Graham has Matt McLean on his mind as a player to possibly obtain. I have I've been an advocate for McLean since the beginning of the season. I think he is a good fit. Probably would be my number two behind Brendan Donovan. Has great contact skills, good gloveman, positional versatility. Uh, and personally, I think he's an excess ball player for the. Uh, we have Graham up here. Bring his latest comment. I haven't got a bleeping clue who will be the third player on the bench. Well, brother, I am with you. I don't have a clue either, especially since all the guys that I thought are being reassigned to minor league camp. Uh, hey, John, welcome, welcome to the stream. Uh, I appreciate your support. For those of you who haven't, please hit the like button. I believe everyone here is subscribed, but if you're not, subscribe and drop comments. As you know, this is an open panel and everyone is welcome. Uh, since I don't have a lot of participation today, I may cut this one short at right now we're about 40 minutes or so. So at the 45-minute mark, if we don't have anyone wanting to come up, stop beating a dead horse and let you all get on with your with your day. Uh, like I said, there are a lot of shifting pieces for this season. I've been I've had mild concern about the injuries that we've had, but I don't think that there's anything that has been insurmountable. The Cabrera's been having troubles hitting from the left side. Uh, Cabrera is actually, I believe, a naturally left-handed hitter. His switch is into the right, and he's definitely had issues uh, hitting from the right side. Just as Jason Dominguez, who is listed as a switch hitter, he has also had problems hitting from the right side. Uh, I think that Cabrera announced that he was going to give up trying to switch hit. To answer a question from Graham, could they go with a 3-man bench and carry an extra arm in the bullpen? Yes, they could. Uh, that may even be wise in the early part of this season. I mean, I don't know if any of y'all watched my play-by-play of the Dodgers Cubs opening game or took time to watch the second game uh, of the series in Tokyo. What I noticed is that the starting pitchers were running about uh, 4.5, 5.5 innings right in that area, stretched out to maybe ballpark 75 pitches. And the games were heavily relied upon by the bullpen. Uh, I don't think that that is going to be any different for the teams starting next week when we're actually back in the regular season, and that we will also end up relying heavily on the bullpen. Uh, and yes, Graham, I would say that we do need a long man out of the bullpen. Uh, Initially, I thought that that long man was going to be Carlos Carrasco out of the pen, but it's looking with his opt out option that he may actually be in the rotation start come opening day. And Will Warren may be our guy that ends up as a long man out of the pen. Another comment from Graham, that's old school thinking, but he likes it. Well, I guess when we're old people, we think we think things in a certain way, and uh, I mean, my philosophy, being a former collegiate pitcher and coach for over 20 years in the sport, is that good pitching beats good hitting every day of the week. And I think that's why the Yankees have had issues over the last 15 years. Is our starting pitching hasn't matched up well with the teams that we play against. Uh, this year we have some wild cards in there. Uh, Rodon, Rodon is probably my linchpin for the rotation. Pretty sure I know what we're going to get out of Max Fried. Uh, Eventually, when Clark Schmidt comes back, pretty sure we know what we're going to get with him. Uh, you know that we're going to have a uh, decent first half with Stroman. Uh, Lord only knows what we're going to get out of him in the second half. Uh, Carrasco, I think, will be a 5 inning pitcher. And back to my original thought, that's why I think that Rodon needs to be better than he's been, shaped back to the form of the pitcher when we first signed him. I mean, first year he was injured, didn't get a full spring training, and never really got to form. Last year, we saw a different Carlos Rodon. Uh, he had spurts of brilliance, longevity. He had a streak of 3 or 4 games where he was just getting simply hammered, uh, giving up 8 runs within 3 innings and then getting pulled. Uh, with this year's bullpen, I don't think we can sustain that, regardless of how many arms we have stacked up. Uh, bring up a comment from FJ. Perhaps there will be a deadline acquisition to bolster the rotation. And that's where I think that we're going to get our rotational help is at the deadline. The other thing that I think uh, is that we will get Luis Heel back uh, near the trade deadline. So his return would be just like adding another high leverage arm. He won't be exhausted like he was towards the latter part of the season, and I think that he could shape back into form similar to his early season beginnings, which would be a major boost to our rotation during the second half. I think that we will try to make a uh, acquisition at the deadline, depending on what our position is, and I think there will be quality pitchers that'll be out there. But the question is, what will Hal Cashman be willing to pay for those pitchers? Last year, we had the opportunity to bring Flaherty on board from the Tigers. The team didn't really care for his medicals, and we pulled back the initial package and tried to get him for cheaper. Well, it ended up biting us in the butt. Uh, Dodgers ended up picking him up, and he pitched against us in the series. So uh, Graham, I believe that you're right. If we're not in a position to uh, make a postseason appearance, we won't expend the prospects to go for a high end arm. What that break point is, I don't know. I am curious to see what JT Brubaker brings to the game. He hasn't pitched in a couple seasons, and he's probably a player that's had the worst luck in Yankee history for being injured. I don't know, probably next to Scott Efros, because those two have been hurt almost on a consistent basis. But when Brubaker was a Pirate, he was a pretty solid pitcher. Uh, Injuries derailed him, and can he make it back? I mean, a freak accident is being hit in the ribs and having 3 ribs broken just goes on his luck profile. But if he plays back to form, he can be the quality pit and can be the quality pitcher that he was. He could take pressure off the rotation. He could go into the uh, pen as as a long relief arm. A lot of caveats that can go with him, but we've got to get him healthy and on the bump throwing and ready to face major league hitting again. If there is a concern for me uh, out of the bullpen, it is one of the arms that we actually traded for this offseason, Fernando Cruz. Uh, he has an incredible sinker, but his time as a Yankee, he seems to have given up a lot of home runs. And I'm not sure what the Boone confidence factor is with regard to him out in the pen. I don't see him being used as a leverage eighth inning guy, uh, possibly 6, 7 inning type bullpen arm. Uh, but like I said, he is the one that concerns me. Uh, Weaver has given up some home runs in spring training too, but I just think that uh, it's just that he's only pitched a few innings and has not been stretched out. I see Stephen B has jumped in. You ready to come up, brother? All right. And we are adding Stephen B to the studio. Hey, Stephen, thanks for coming on board. How
Hey
are you?
Ken, sorry, I just had to take care of something while driving. But I was listening the whole time. I'm not really worried about the pitching, more like more worried about seeing what we're gonna get for third base more than anything. I think a Bethune probably end up happening. What about you?
You're breaking up a little bit and you're frozen. So I'm not really hearing what you're saying.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's what I figured. Can you hear me now?
I can.
No. Okay. I tried. This area's bad.
Modern technology, the wonders.
Yep. I'll head back to the chat room then.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate you giving it an effort. Uh, yeah, there are some bullpen arms out there. Uh, we do have uh, Lasagna, Jonathan Loizaga, that is recovering from Tommy John surgery, and he'll be back. We have Jake Cousins, who uh, hasn't hasn't pitched since his back issues. He's been throwing bullpens, so I don't anticipate that we will be long without him. Uh, Out there, D Rob, yeah, he's most definitely one that I would consider bringing on board, especially with his history against the Dodgers' big three. He has done. He has basically owned them. So, would love to see him here with the Yankees, especially come postseason time. Uh, but long and short, we have depth in the bullpen, a lot of it, and in the event of injuries, we have more arms to bring up behind them. So I'm not really concerned about the bullpen all that much. Uh, uh, Rotation, I think that we have plenty of people that can eat innings, earn strikeouts, get wins. Uh, our first two series this season are going to be against the Brewers and the Diamondbacks. Brewers will probably start Peralta as their opener. Uh, he is a pitcher who relies on a lot of ground balls. And with the Yankees' speed, I think that we may be able to handle him and the Brewers. It'll depend on what our starting pitching does. Diamondbacks actually scare me. I watch them a lot with my son, and the thing that is terrifying about them is their speed. They will take the extra base. They will steal at will. They'll run with reckless abandonment. Uh, Wells is our starting catcher. Last season, I didn't think he was particularly good at throwing runners out, and I wasn't his biggest fan. But Trevino was not any better. And looking at who we have behind the dish, don't think Ben Rice is great at throwing base stealers out. And I don't think that I've seen J.C. Escara make the attempt to throw anyone out. So I think the running game could be a dangerous thing for us. Last year, the Red Sox utilized the Diamondback style type of running. And they exposed our catchers fairly early in the season, and that was a theme throughout the year. Is we would face teams that would run at will, and teams the other Achilles heel that I think we've addressed in the off season was our inability to hit left-handed pitchers. So every series we'd go through, we'd see a shitload of left-handed pitchers, and anybody who could make it on base and steal would make it so. All right, bring a statement up from Graham. Joel Sherman put it the other day, we just need a lineup that to do what they're supposed to do, not go unrealistically high. We can score 5 runs a game, and that should lead us to 90-plus wins. In the early season, a lot of the prediction models had the Yankees pulling, I think, 93 wins for the season. Some as high as 97. Now that we've had the injuries and their recalibrations, a lot of them are figuring that we are an 80 to 85 win team. I just don't see it. Don't agree with it. FJ's comment: Alex Jackson shows a strong arm, and I agree with that. Will his below 200 batting average keep him off the major league rosters, even as a backup catcher? Possibly, probably. Although last night in the Braves game, he whacked the crap out of a ball. So the opening day roster is a mystery. There are players that I thought were going to be there that have now been reassigned to the minors. So your guess is as good as mine. But we'll attack that next week when we actually have a major league roster and see how it's constructed, and we'll start our major league season for 2025. Hopefully with a series win on the road against the Brewers. All right, fellas, we have hit the 1 hour mark for this stream. I want to thank all of y'all that have clicked in, made comments. Most appreciate for the support. The show only goes as far as you guys are, because I like hearing people's opinions and I like having the discussion. So thank you for that. I want to also ask you to, if you have not, please subscribe, share with your friends uh, about the channel, and tune in for this afternoon or this evening's Yankee ball game. I think we may see some interesting things, especially with Will Warren on the bump. That being said, thank you. I'm calling it a day. Have a great Yankee day. Let's go Yankees.